thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being here. This is our Great Culture webinar series, our second of the year. Today we're going to talk about and discuss practical tips managing a wellness program. And each month through this series, you can tune in to hear insider stories, expert analysis, and get an inside look at the programs and strategies for what it takes to create a happy, healthy, and engaged workforce. And I am so thrilled to be joined today by Billie Morrison. She is the Director of HR at Lincoln Learning Solutions. She also runs the wellness program there. Lincoln Learning Solutions is based in my favorite city and in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or thereabouts, Southwest PA, I should say, really. And so we are so happy to have Billie here and really give us a candid look of what it takes and what the challenges are, and give a real inside look at running a wellness program through HR, the HR department. So welcome, Billie, and thank you.
Thank you, Amanda, and go Steelers. It's my favorite city as well.
Go Steelers, that's right. I'm so excited to hear that, and I'm very excited for your new quarterback this year.
We'll see.
Okay, so Billie has over 20 years of experience in HR and at mostly at Lincoln Learning. Is that correct, Billie?
Yes. Prior to my experience with Lincoln Learning, I was a court officer to Beaver County Courts, working in the human services field in the areas of actually juvenile delinquency and child custody was my former life.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's such valuable work, and that truly needs someone committed to doing that as well. That's wonderful to hear. Now, could you give us a bit of background information on Lincoln Learning Solutions, really what your employee population is and the work setup as well as the overall culture?
Absolutely. I love talking about Lincoln Learning because I can say I take great pride in working for a company like Lincoln Learning Solutions. They are very employee-centered, and our goal obviously is to get our work done, but we also want to have a happy employees, and that's what we aim to do. We are about a total of 240-ish employees that can vary here and there throughout the year. What we do is we write curriculum for both primarily online schools, but also brick and mortar schools as well. Currently, since COVID, we have been mostly remote. We are now next week actually entering back to our brand new building and going on a hybrid mode. And we also have a large population of our employees that are out of state. They work in different states: Michigan, Ohio, Virginia, Florida. So we're kind of scattered. So there's a large part of our population that's also remote 100%.
Okay, so you have a very diverse workforce in terms of not only the individuals themselves, but also location.
Correct. And then we also provide, and I apologize for leaving this out because I'm actually at our maintenance shop this morning. We also have a full maintenance crew, custodial crews, warehouse, and mailroom. And we provide our services not only for our company, but to other companies as well. And primarily we provide for one right here in Midland, Pennsylvania, where our maintenance is here. And our maintenance guys and our custodial people take care of all their needs as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that gives a diverse population of employees as well, from different backgrounds.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So in what is the biggest challenge that you feel in working with such a diverse population or diverse type of employees?
I think the biggest challenge is getting everybody engaged. Again, we're in different locations and things like that. So there's when I first started here, there was a lot of grumbles, and we used to be located in Rochester, Pennsylvania, that every event was held in Rochester, and at the people in Midland, which is about 20-25 minutes away, it would be a hardship for them. to sometimes get to the events. So what we have done is when I came into human resources there, that was one of my goals, was to make sure I was visible in all our locations, and also during, as we can, doing different events in the locations we do have. And then also setting up for our remote people webinars that they can, hear about the benefits, because we're getting ready to go into our open enrollment, and that's huge for folks. And so we would want to make sure everybody's getting the information, whether they're at home or they're on site every day.
That's so important, that visibility. And before we started the session, Billie and I were speaking, and she's in one location today and moving to another location later today after the session, and then they're moving into their new building next week. So it's just a lot of movement, a lot of getting around.
Yeah, it's a lot of balancing. And there's different, because all the employees have needs, and it's good to be visible to all. So they have the comfortability of coming to us, to be in. When I say us, I mean my assistant. They can know they can come to us with any questions, and we're here. Sometimes, people won't just pick up the phone or send an email. And so again, with our diverse employee population, a lot of our custodial folks work in the evening, and they don't like to email, so they know they can talk to us. You give me a call in the evening, or I'll be down here when they're starting their shifts, just to kind of engage them and let them know you're important to this company.
That's so important. That's so important, those touch points. If you're just joining us as well, we have a bit of an unstable connection here, so that's why webcams are off. We do want to keep this session as engaged as we possibly can. So please feel free to drop us comments and questions into the chat box or into the question box, and we'll address those as we go. And again, everyone will receive a copy of the slides as well as the recording after the session. So speaking about that employee experience and those touch points, being visible and meeting the employees where they are and really making that strong connection, how does that play into your overall employee experience at Lincoln Learning?
I really believe that since I've been here 10 years, I see a more positive employee experience. And I can give you an example. We hold an annual fall party. We don't do a Christmas party. We do a fall party because it was decided that people are really busy in the months of December and end of November. So we hold it in October. And when we would have parties prior, you would kind of see the same groups of people going. And again, I'll refer to it as our Rochester office. Now, in the past 3 years, we've had almost every department represented, people coming in our, we have maintenance guys where they would switch off, a couple would come to the party, then they would come back. We're seeing more engagement. We are definitely seeing more appreciation, feeling like they're part of the whole culture, and more integration. And those parties and those experiences are nice for us because people get to interact and talk to each other. And, you can talk to somebody on the phone or through email, but to actually talk face to face and meet, I think that's so important. And we're seeing all the departments now in the past 3 years coming together and doing that.
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
It is.
So how does your wellness program play a role in that as well?
The wellness, when we've been working with Motion Connected, this will be our 3rd year. And prior to that, the wellness program, it was received, but there was a lot of stuff that the employees had to do. You had to bring your paper from your doctor for your annual physical. You had to do the biometric screening. And we saw a lot of apprehension from employees, even though the information we didn't have their information, but a lot of people didn't seem to trust that the company wasn't looking to see, okay, who may be high risk on the insurance, and stuff like that. And that wasn't the intent, but some people would really kind of kept that in their mind. So we are looking at ways to more engage. So when we connected with Motion Connected, the reason I love the platform is the employees choose their path. We're not requiring them to do anything, and to earn their incentive, all they really do is get to the silver level, and how they get there is on them. I was down here today and I was showing our one lady from the warehouse. She's like, well, I don't know how to do it on my app. I said, it's so easy. I showed her, we clicked on, showed her how to earn those points. But it allows them to go that direction. It's also, I think, promotes a sense of community. Unfortunately, we were in a step challenge and we lost. We were kicked out. But that sense of community, you could see it back. People were like, "Oh, I was sick this week, and I'm sorry I couldn't get my steps in. And next year we're gonna have to, really get it together." So you see it. It becomes like a talking point for folks and just a way to mesh and be proud as a company.
Right. Okay. Can you share why you were kicked out of the step challenge?
We didn't get enough steps.
Oh,
We lost. I shouldn't say kicked out. We lost. I didn't want to say we lost.
oh, okay. I thought you were
It
getting
was nothing
many
negative.
steps.
We lost the first round, and then I said, okay, the second round, and everybody's like, oh, we'll get them in the second round, and we didn't. So you had to, like, if you lost 2 rounds in a row, I'm sorry if I misspoke that. We did not get kicked out.
You're good. I was just super curious. I wanted to see.
Yeah, we lost. We just ended up losing, and it was honestly very disappointing. And the one thing I can tell you from that, and I am involved in our executive meetings that we have every other Tuesday, and I have been preaching every time it's my turn to talk is it comes from the top down. Please join. Please, just when you're talking to your employees, hey, did you join? It's not that, it's not hard to join, and we want to build this, and it's getting there with the executives. I'm pushing it every other Tuesday.
Yeah, well, that takes time, and kudos to you for bringing that up at those high level meetings, because that visibility and is so important for others to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, okay, to also reframe a bit and touch on the positive, you did tell me about a step challenge that you all won.
We did. We participated in Spark Pittsburgh, and we won through the whole, and there was a lot of companies. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I apologize, but there was large, medium, and small companies, and we won for the, and we're outside of Pittsburgh. We're about a half hour, 45 minutes, depending on where you're at in our county here. But we won the whole Pittsburgh area, the medium-sized companies. And it was great. And that's when, this was pre-COVID, that's when we had 100 and some people in the office every day, 5 days a week. And you would see different groups of people going out and walking at different times of the day to get their steps in. And everybody was so engaged in that. And I think it's going to really help next year when we re-enroll in this step challenge that we just lost, is we're going to be back in the office and we can say, hey, it's time, let's go for a walk, or, having that engagement one-on-one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Being able to be back in that physical place and draw those connections is certainly important. And I remember I'm from Pittsburgh, as I mentioned, and that Spark Challenge is a very big step challenge where a lot of organizations participate.
Yes, we were actually on Channel 4 News, which is one of the local news stations here, because we won.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
That's why we hard pill to swallow this last weekend when we lost.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we do have a question coming in from April. Thank you, April, for your question. What platform did you use for the step challenge?
For this current one was the Motion Connected. So it went through our brokers, or Henderson Brothers, and they went through Motion Connected. So we registered, the steps were all calculated through there.
Yes, and thank you for that question, April. So Motion Connected is a platform and an app that hosts and holds step challenges for your own organization, and you can compete with other organizations as well. As you can see on the slide, Motion Connected also offers a community dashboard or a community leaderboard and message board. So Billie, how do those features really help the wellness program or help your initiatives at Lincoln Learning?
What I like about them is it's in one place. So somebody goes to their dashboard, and they can see if the challenges are coming up, where we are at the challenge, and not only the challenges, if it's with the open enrollment, that's coming up. So we're going to have that on that dashboard as well. We place all our benefit information right there. So they have the app and they're looking for something, it's right there for them. It's right on that one app, and it's nice, and it gives them a lot of resources they can use in that just one app. So it really helps. And the one thing I'd like to improve on in regards to the step challenges, because I thought everybody is into that, but you can challenge other departments, other people in your organization as well. So next year I'm going to kind of start pushing for folks to do that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, what we have found at Motion Connected is that, wellness is really, and step challenges in particular, are the gateway into more healthy behaviors. So if we get individuals engaged through these challenges and these initiatives, they're going to check things out in this, one-stop shop, to say,
Right.
and check out the message board and check out the curated well-being content that's very dynamic and easy to consume, and then go into other areas as well. And we're going to review those in a moment. I do just want to go back 1 second, Billie, to the last slide and touch on what you mentioned regarding the wellness program itself, and moving from a very, I would say, traditional wellness program where you have these, 3 or 4 things that you must do, this mandatory sense of participation, into more choice. How did your population respond to that? And what are the pros and cons that you see?
There's a lot of pros I see. Again, with the mandated, and on my end, I was in a different role at the time, so I would have to track if people had their physical, if the right paperwork was in, running the biometric clinics, making sure, everybody's registered. So there was a lot of like administration on when it was mandated, and you had to make sure steps 1 was done, step 2 was done, step 3 was done. Now going to the platform where they are choosing their path, their points are their points. So if I have an employee who is really not into step challenges, but they may really be into the videos that the Motion Connected platform provides, and they go in and they watch the videos. There's also, and people do get their yearly physical, and they get points for that if they choose to put that, they went for their physical and put it in the app. If they go get a dental cleaning or preventive service, they can earn points for that. It just gave people the freedom and the comfortability. I talked about, and a lot of people at first, if we're getting these biometric screenings, and we used to run the clinics right from our office building, some folks just did not trust that information wasn't coming to us for insurance purposes, and it wasn't. But some people just had that in their heads. They're on their own. They can do, however they can earn points. That's why they do it, and it has worked out wonderful.
That's great. And you said something to me in one of our preparatory meetings for this webinar, and you said give employees their control over their wellness journey. Really hand that to them, which is so important, that sense, which builds intrinsic motivation, right?
It does.
And prior to joining Motion Connected, I worked for Mascaro Construction, which is in Pittsburgh as well, running their wellness program, and we used Motion Connected. And when we launched Motion Connected at open enrollment, I think I said this every day for like 6 months. I said, you have 3,452 points available to you in this app. You need to earn 1,250. You figure that out. Whatever is best for you. You choose your path and you choose your way. And giving people that power to go about what works best for them really goes a long way as far as overall employee engagement, participation in the wellness program, and meeting those goals and metrics that you're looking for. So let's move on and talk a little bit about the app itself, but how it's tailored to Lincoln Learning and what this looks like for you. So Billie, could you just you know what, we're talking about the wellness program. I want to start here, and then we can go back to those other boards as well. But let's talk about the wellness program and the rewards and incentives piece. So how do you motivate individuals, and what are the incentives that are built within your program?
So every year we have a different incentive for our employees to earn once they reach the silver level in the program. And we do have several employees that make it to the gold level. So we have to come up for something with something for that as well. So again, and I see it on here. So I just want to say, so we last year, our fiscal year is coming to an end. So our last fiscal year, we decided to do for people to earn points, and you'll see it on the screen, a refer a friend. So they refer a coworker, and that coworker enrolled, then that employee got points for that. So that was kind of a good way to get people motivated, get more people in the program. So our incentives are not anything huge, but they are nice. 2 years ago, and what we did when I figure out the incentives is I look and I say, okay, what kind of people we have working here? What would be in need? So I know a lot of our population is relatively they're younger. They have younger children. So, and I know a lot of them go to soccer games, softball games. So I was like, and it rains a lot in this area. I said, well, what about a rain jacket with our logo on it? So we did that, and that went over great. People loved it. On that same kind of idea with the younger population and things, and if you have children or if you don't, and if you have a lot of social events, we decided to do an 18 can cooler with our logo on it. So that went over well. This year, I kind of looked and said, okay, well, we kind of logoed people out, right? Like everybody has shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts. So what we have decided for this year and started is the Stanley Cups are so popular. So if they reach the silver level, they will earn a Stanley Cup. So we're hoping that will draw, because people are really crazy about those right now. So, and then throughout the time, because we have people, and I'm myself, that I'm not always earning a ton of points, and but they're still participating and they're still trying to be part of the program. So we send out different gifts throughout the time. Every week I check the reports, see who's been participating. We randomly draw people's names, and we might send out one of the cooling towels they have, or a Bluetooth speaker, or something inspirational, a notebook with inspirational quotes, and then a pen to go with it. Just little things to thank people for participating and taking part and being part of the Lincoln community with their wellness program.
That's awesome. So your incentives and rewards certainly fit the culture.
Yes.
And it really put a lot of effort and energy into figuring out what will really drive people and excite them and motivate them as well.
Yeah, everybody likes to get get the gift. I mean, that's the big thing. So we certainly we love that part of it, but we also love just to see the people getting involved. And I already kind of put out like teasers about what this coming year's incentive is going to be. And I know some folks have figured it out, and they're like, oh, we'll do whatever we got to do to get to the level. So it's good. I think it's a good way to get people moving.
Absolutely, for sure. And in speaking about that, I know we touched on it, but once we get individuals into the app for wellness and through step challenges, then they can see what else is in here as well. So we have your benefits guide, there's insurance and carrier information, you have information to how to link a device such as a Fitbit or a Garmin, more of your wellness incentive information. And then you have, as well, very important mental health resources, more of a blog page that goes into different wellness topics, as well as a health and recipe library. So there's a lot to explore. And Billie, do you have any input on what is offered here, or employees, have they mentioned anything to you, or what they particularly appreciate about these resources?
I know they really enjoy the benefit information there. That's huge for any company. I think we all know that a lot of employees they don't, especially if something happens, on what's covered, and so that I know that's on there. Also, the resources on there, as far as like the device, they're so user friendly to do that. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. And every year I work with Motion Connected to build this out a little bit more. So this year we're actually, I just had our first meeting, talk about what else can we add, what else can benefit the employees. And there's a survey that'll be going out through the app on April 1st. So I kind of want to look at that and see where we can go to build this out to make it even more beneficial for our employees.
Absolutely, for sure. Okay, hold on one second. We just have a question coming in from Tiffany. Okay, we love Motion Connected. Thank you, Tiffany. And we have Motion Connected gift cards, absolutely, which can run through the portal as well. It has worked very well based on the scorecard levels. Thank you for including that, Tiffany. That's very helpful. So yes, we do have it's essentially, you know, everyone likes a good gift card, right? And be able to be able to choose their own incentive and what they would like to work towards. So that's another path as well, is using these. Oh, and I was just going to mention that in touching on what you said about the benefits information and having that here, you know, it's really a continuation of open enrollment. And no one, you know, you get that stack of papers, that manual at open enrollment, and it goes in a drawer, and no one wants to dig through it, because when you need it, and you always have your phone. So having that information here at your fingertips is so helpful.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so let's move on in talking about driving engagement and just having a very real conversation of what the challenges are of running a wellness program while also running the HR department, and what that looks like for you. You know, what is that balance?
Yeah, I have to, really carve out time for the wellness, because like I said, we have approximately 240 employees, and it's myself and my assistant in the HR department, which has been a change for us. And it's working, it's well, but we have a lot of other obligations throughout the day to day. So I have scheduled time for myself on Tuesday mornings. That's when I look at the wellness, check the reports, check to see if anything's coming from there. And, of course, we field questions about it on a day-to-day basis if necessary. So we have to balance that part out, but we have to make time for it. And I'm not perfect at it, but every year, like I said, this year, the dashboard, I want to build it out a little bit more. This will be the first year that I would be the director of the department. I was the senior HR analyst most recently, and then the generalist to start. So this year, I want to take time and really look and build that out. And I said to get our employees' responses and see what else they would like to see. You just really have to make that time and say, okay, this hour is what I'm going to do for wellness. And that's, and as the questions come up.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think we talk about that in other areas of life as well. Thinking of health coaching when we're talking about, exercise, it's prioritizing that time. And of course, that goes into job duties and job functions and how that relates. Absolutely.
I'm sure everybody on this call has to do a balance, and understands that, it goes through all facets of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in speaking of participation and employee engagement, what are the challenges there at Lincoln Learning? You've touched on them a little bit, the diverse workforce, moving to fully remote, and now you have this move next week. But what does that look like for you, and how are you addressing?
Yeah, then I always say we can always do better, and it's the employees that we need to have. So we have, out of the 240, there's probably about 130, I think, registered for the wellness program, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But not all those employees participate. So they went in and they put the app on, their friend might ask them at work. Now it's how do we get them all engaged? And total honesty, we probably have 40 to 50 people that really are engaged in it. So we have a long way to go to get that engagement. When we went remote 4 years ago, completely remote, a disengagement happened. And I think a lot of companies saw that. People were at home. There was no more socialization. Work was kind of a social place for all of us. We were there 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. These people, I know I'll talk for myself. They were my friends. I knew their families. We kind of lost that. We lost the community of a workplace. I'm hoping with us heading back to the office, that we'll be able to get that back. So it's a challenge, so we're going to, during our open enrollment, our benefit fair, we're going to have a section that's just dedicated to wellness. Hey, this is why you should join the wellness program. Hopefully have some of the employees who really do engage, ask them to be present to talk to folks coming through. So their peers are the ones telling them. It's not just, the administration asking you, hey, can you be involved in this? The other thing too, with our guys, that I always laugh because some of them just got smartphones. I always tease them. Coming down here, being here with them, saying, hey, let me see what it's not going to hurt you to put this on your phone. You already have this watch on. It's going to track your steps. You're going to help us out. You can earn stuff. So kind of just being right there one-on-one with them, as well as I try to do that as well. Because, let's be honest, them down here at the maintenance shop are getting way more steps than me sitting at my desk all day long. So we've had to try to get them engaged as well. So that's kind of the challenges that we have faced. And like I said, I think that refer a friend, I don't know, whoever uses Motion Connected, that was a great thing for us. But now the next step is we got the folks signed up. Let's get them engaged in the actual program.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for being so transparent and candid. And those are certainly struggles that we all relate to in running wellness programs. Is not only, okay, we got that one hurdle, we have you downloaded the app, but now how do we get this continuous participation, and how do we get consistent engagement through the process? And and I appreciate what you also shared of the employee hesitancy and those concerns of whether it's Big Brother watching or in leadership or ownership, and that is still a very real concern for individuals. And it's something that I feel many of us running wellness programs deal with every day. So if anyone has any tips or how they handle these situations, please feel free to drop those into the box and we can share.
Right.
And when I was at Mascaro Construction, again, it was a similar population. It was a blue collar workforce, and this was about 5 years ago, very hesitant to certain aspects of tech with certain groups and demographics. And so I think the biggest thing for us was consistent messaging. And just as I mentioned before, saying the same thing about the points and finding your path, and saying that until it's blue in the face.
Right.
At the end of every email or at the end of every wellness poster or initiative, there was information. This information is not shared with your employer. And so on and so forth, and just being very open about it, and setting the tone from the beginning of what the mission of the wellness program is, what it's striving to do, and that it really is there for the employees, and that we're only trying to give you more through your job and through your employment. But yeah, if anyone has any other tips, please go ahead and put those in. I'm also wondering, Billie, I know we spoke about this briefly, and you mentioned that some are new to having smartphones. How did you get them engaged, or what did you do prior to having smartphones?
Well, they would be the ones wouldn't do it. Like two of them just recently they're like, oh, we can't do it. We don't have the phone. But I tell them, well, you can go on your laptops, or the company provides the employees their laptops, and then if they don't have their own, some of our population doesn't need their own, they have one that they can log in. Everybody has credentials and emails, so they don't need to put the app on the phone. You could do it on a laptop. So we provided instructions for that as well. And the other thing, when you were talking about the hesitation and the engagement, a lot of people, and I know I've talked about our maintenance guys and stuff because, again, with the technology, but we have I'll go with our technology department, our IT department, not just them, but some of the office people, they'll say, well, I don't do steps, so I'm not going to bother with it. Well, it's more than steps, and that's getting that message across. You don't have to do the step challenges. You know what I mean? And trying to get them just to maybe look at the videos or just be engaged, be part of it. So it's kind of getting the message across that it's not just about how many steps you get. It's what else can you do to become healthier. We did also, and this for wellness, the other thing we've done as a company is for our HRIS system, we have now got trainings too, additional to what Motion Connected provided, but wellness trainings as well. Just to kind of throw out there every so often to folks, just to kind of remember, take care of yourself kind of thing. And then we'll connect that with, hey, and we have the wellness program. We provide that information. Our wellness program goes out to every new hire. That's part of their new hire packet. And when they come into onboard, we encourage them to sign up.
Absolutely, that's great. Thank you for mentioning that. And I like how you mentioned just using the website as well, because that is an option. I use that in my previous position of, okay, we got you a Fitbit.
Yeah.
Let's just punch those numbers into the dashboard here on the site, and you're good to go. So that's wonderful. Okay, Tiffany, you have a tip, and I just want to mention this as well while we're discussing it. Tiffany said we have an annual insurance meeting and give bonus points for employees who attend. It's a simple sign in, and then Tiffany adds the points from the admin account, and this helps with engagement and helps employees earn points for their scorecard. That's awesome. Yeah, those
I might steal that. I might steal that, Tiffany, and use it for our benefit fair.
Yeah, they can be leveraged for different. We've seen groups use them for open enrollment, for we've seen one group use them for taking time off. Actually encouraging their employees to take PTO because they found that individuals weren't. It was part of their mental health initiatives. So they got bonus points for that in their scorecard. And we've seen it for, as you mentioned, Billie, like the refer a friend.
Yeah.
Okay, and Tiffany has one more comment. You also have healthy choice section in her scorecard. Yep. Earn points when meeting with a rep from their 401k. Show a picture of the meeting invite and then receive points in the scorecard. That's awesome. So if employees do not walk a lot, there are still absolutely ways to earn those points. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Tiffany. That's awesome. And that is important. Yes, it's not just the steps. And it's not just that physical piece, it's that overall, those 6 dimensions of wellness or well-being, or the 8 dimensions, whichever you use, are very important. And I just want to give a shout out to my Motion Connected team member, Kelly. She said communicating the why is so important. And absolutely, Kelly, thank you for putting that in there. The communicating why we have a wellness program, why we're doing these things. As I said before, the mission, the objectives, the what it does for you is so important to gain that employee buy-in and hopefully some of that leadership buy-in as well. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you for that participation. I really appreciate that. As we start to wrap up here, any more comments, questions, feel free to continue to share. That's why we do these webinars and these sessions, to really learn from each other, and also to build that community and know that a lot of us are facing the same challenges and struggles. So Billie, as we start to wrap up here, what advice do you have? What tips do you have for organizations that are either just starting a wellness program or have one, but really want to take it to the next level?
I think, Amanda, you and I discussed this prior as well. My thing is just keep going. Sometimes it's easy. Like I said, when I look at that list and I have all those people signed up and only certain ones I see on doing things, just keep going, because the more you keep going, keep promoting, the employees will come around. And again, we saw that from the first year to the second year, and I'm hoping this year is even better. So that would be my tip, and what I've tried to do here. Keep going, keep promoting it, keep talking about it, bringing it up at the high level meetings. And again, holding that management teams accountable, saying, hey, these are your employees. They see you do it, they're going to do it as well, and keep talking about it with folks.
Absolutely. That consistency is so important. Just continuing to show up.
Yes.
For sure. Thank you, Billie. Thank you so much. If there's any last questions or comments, feel free to bring those in. It has been wonderful hosting this session in this webinar series, and I really appreciate all of your feedback and all of your participation. It's been great to grow this community. So thank you all. And Billie, I really appreciate your time and your candor, and just sharing all the wonderful things that you do at Lincoln Learning. And you can tell that the heart and the drive is there, and you're going to get that engagement. I know you are.
Well, thank you, Amanda, and thank you for everybody who attended. It was my pleasure to be here today.
Awesome. Everyone's going to receive a copy of the recording, as well as a copy of the slides. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you, everyone.